I'm not going to be backing down. I'm just not going to do it. GBP USD is a trade that I'm in right now. I'm going to buy. I shared this trade in my free Telegram channel, link in the description and the pinned comment. It's completely free. It's just where I share all my trades and analysis. And I put a thing here that says I think price is going to go up. So I have since gotten long. I've got a stop below the zone and a target above, risking $100,000, and the entry currently sits at break even. What I'm going to do in this video is break down my loss today and the current losses this week. I've covered most of them in yesterday's video, but I'm going to break them down again, as well as give you a simplified outlook for what I'm looking to trade the rest of this week. It is super, super simple. I'm not going to overtalk. I'm going to keep it really, really simple and straight to the point here in this video. And so if you could just stick with me here for a few minutes, I'm literally going to show you everything. Let's get right into it. So for GBP USD, originally I had gotten short this morning. I got long this morning, a little bit further up when price started going sideways in the lower time frames. I'll show you here in the 15-minute. When price started going sideways, what I ended up doing is we popped up a little bit, we came back, started going sideways, ended up closing that position there. Then we came down here into the support zone, and then I bought right there at support. What has since happened is we dipped a little bit below the support, but then we pushed back up and since have closed above this support zone. The market just closed 26 minutes ago for Asian session. So we haven't closed, but it's the session changeover. And the daily candle did close looking decent. We didn't break below this zone. So what I think is going to happen here is a simple bounce of support. And even though I did lose that trade earlier this morning, I'm going to show you my actual rolling P&L here. We're currently in May of 2026. This account was started in October of 2025. I have just over doubled the account. So I've taken it from $350,000 to $734,000, even after swaps and commissions of like $160,000, like more than that. And these are all the recent losses. So I already covered AUD/USD and GBP/USD in the previous video. We're going to talk about AUD/USD and GBP/USD here in this video, as well as Euro/AUD. All right, cool. So AUD/USD, I ended up taking a sell on AUD/USD. What ended up happening is as AUD/USD came back this morning, I'll show you the original reason for the trade. This resistance zone right here, that's all. I sold because price was at resistance. Easy, basic, simple, not hard to duplicate, predictable, sustainable. All these other buzzwords to try to convince you that trading is not really complicated, as long as you make it not complicated. So I sold here at resistance. Whenever I woke up this morning, price had originally gone into a nice profit. It had gone down here, but then we started pushing back up to here. And after all these little higher lows pushing up, I just decided it'd be better to close this trade. So I got out of this trade around break even. Ended up going up all the way into the resistance zone, bounced away, but now we're right up back again where I exited at. And so that was this loss right here. It was technically a profit. It was a small profit. I made like 2K, but with swaps and commissions and the fact that this trade I think had like a $25,000 to $50,000 risk, it's basically a break-even trade. I'm happy with that. The risk was controlled very, very well. So that's AUD/USD. GBP/USD, I had a small loss this morning, and that was this loss right here. I had bought right up here because this is technically still the daily zone. Price broke below, came up, tested as resistance, and then it started falling lower. So I ended up closing as we were headed down right here. And I closed that. I lost 5K on that. The risk on that was like 25,000. So came down here into the zone. I bought whenever we came down here into this zone, and now price currently sits here. A lot of people overthink things, but whenever you're using the higher time frames like daily and weekly, things just become so much simpler. It's so much less of a pain in the ass. Because as long as you're looking at the higher time frames, you're using major support resistance zones where prices just clearly and obviously had a really big bounce multiple times in the past. It gives you a great way of controlling risk. It gives you a way of buying at support, selling at resistance, putting a stop under the zone if you buy, above the zone if you sell, and then just setting a target at 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. If it starts going at a profit, I try to hold it to the profit target. If it starts going against me, I try to close a little bit early for a smaller loss. We're just trying to make a little more than we lose. So with that, I'm going to be holding this GBP/USD trade. We're going to see what ends up happening. And then you'll also see down here I had a loss on Euro/AUD, basically a break-even trade. I lost $800 on it. Wasn't that big of a deal. GBP/AUD down here, I'm since just going to stay out of this trade. It looks like it's actually still going to go down, but I ended up shorting as we were breaking through this zone. And I'm going to show you exactly where we were breaking. Where were we breaking from? So as price started to break out of the recent lows, I got short. And whenever I got short on this, it ended up kind of breaking lower, went into profit. Then it started coming back up. Then it started going sideways. And so I just elected to close that trade this morning. So it didn't work out, but it was basically a break-even trade. I controlled risk. I was hoping this would start bouncing or start continuing downwards immediately. We just have too many zones of support here, so I didn't feel comfortable holding the sell if we weren't moving very, very quickly. So whenever price got into this zone, we did stop right here for the daily candle, and then this daily candle, we'll have to see what happens. She could go up, she could go down. The main reason I'm not buying is just because we have multiple areas here where price could bounce, and I'd rather be waiting for a major zone. So we have this support zone here. We also have this low down here where price could bounce, right? We found support there in the past. A lot of candles, and we had a break below, and then it found temporary resistance right there before then coming back above. We could bounce right there, but guess what? We could also bounce down here at this low. So I don't really see a good risk structure here for this. I'm just going to be leaving it alone until we get to that major low down there, or perhaps to these highs right here. I'll be just reanalyzing this probably at the end of the week, seeing where the daily candles have gone and see if we get to one of these major zones. But I don't really see anything for now on GBP AUD. That concludes all of my trades for today that were closed. And now I currently sit in this one trade right here. So this is where I called it. This is my Discord server where I call all my exact trades. It's kind of like a personal trading journal for myself where I just share all my personal trades. You can join it and then you can just follow them if you like. But I just post all my trades in there. So in this Discord server, you can see I bought right here. This is my trading terminal, the P&L terminal, the exact lot sizes and everything. You can see I've re-entered a buy here on GBP USD since we've gotten deeper into the support level. I've got a normal risk structure of 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, and I'm risking $100,000 on this GBP USD trade. If it loses, am I going to lose 100K? Probably not. I might lose anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000. So I usually lose like maybe anywhere from 1/4 to half of the stop. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to get out at break even before it goes to the stop. But it's probably not going to be a 100K loss. But if it is, that's what the stop loss is for. That's what my risk tolerance is. I'm comfortable doing that just because I've been trading for over a decade. I've made millions trading Forex and crypto and stocks over that time period. And during this time period, I have found that all I have to do is just make a little bit more than I lose long term. And I'm just barely profitable. Like I'm talking, I come out anywhere from like maybe 1 to 2 units of profit per month. I don't take many trades. I take maybe 1 to 2, sometimes 3 or 4 trades per week. It kind of just depends on the week. This week I'm already at, I think, like 4 trades for the week. But it just kind of depends. But overall, I come out 1 to 2 units of profit per month. And for me, that's an amazing reward because if I get to the end of the year and I've come out like 12 to 24 units of profit and I'm risking an average of $50,000 to $100,000 per trade, you do the math. It's a lot of money. It's a system that works for me. It's a system that works for a lot of people who have learned from me. And it's something that I just keep on doing. I keep on swimming. I keep on trucking. And it's working great. So that's what I'm in right now on GBP USD. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of an outlook for the rest of this trading week and keep it real simple here for you. I have removed all the ones that I don't find trading opportunities on. So everything here on my watch list that you can see, well, I can't even like zoom anymore. So all the things you see here on my watch list, these are all the stuff that I'm not looking at. And so I'm not looking at them because I just personally don't see anything. And right here, these are the trades I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and have a look at the ones that I am looking at. So right here on GBP USD, I've already explained this. I'm buying at support right here. So I'm going to buy. AUD USD, I'm waiting on price to get up here to this zone. I think this is a perfectly fine trading opportunity because price has bounced here as resistance. Resistance broke above and bounced to support twice before then coming back to it and then breaking below. So now if we just come back up here to retest that zone, I'll be looking to get short. I'll put a stop above the zone and a target below, and then we'll see if we get a little bit of a bounce. Some people might call this a head and shoulders pattern. I call it a simple bounce of resistance. That's what I'm looking for. So I'll be doing that on AUD USD. GBP Canadian dollar. You see I've got my zone and it's just my alert basically. My alert is basically functioning as the line because this is actually an alert right here. So I've just got my alert right there. And if price gets up here into these recent highs where it was at, in this case earlier this month back in May. It was here back in April twice, it bounced here earlier this month in May. Came all the way down here into this major weekly support, which actually I took buys on right here. I called that one live. This one I made, I think, like $150,000 on 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it must have been 2 weeks ago because of these candlesticks. That was an amazing trade. So it was amazing. It's had a nice run up. It would have went into a lot more profit had I held it. But hey, I don't try to be a hero and catch the long moves because those are very unlikely to happen. I like to catch the small, relatively more predictable moves and bounces off zones. So I was able to make a nice profit on that one. And now all I'm doing is I'm looking to sell here at this resistance. If it gets there, starts to bounce, I'll enter a sell with a stop loss above and a target below at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, doing the same damn thing I've been doing for years. Now, on Euro GBP, this is a very interesting one. We almost got into my zone where I was going to buy last night. I'll go to the 15 minutes so you can see how close we got. Down here, we've got within 3 pips of the zone. See that -3? We were 3 pips away from the zone, and then it ended up rocketing up from there. So I did not get an entry. What would the entry have looked like had I got one? Let's pretend it went a little bit lower. It probably would have been right there after price started bouncing. So it would have gotten to this alert, bounced a little bit because this is right here along where all the recent previous lows are. Super beautiful, super clear zone. Amazing for just planning a risk structure, right? Because you just buy, then you put a stop on the other side of the zone. Target would have gone at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. This would have been like halfway to the profit target had I entered. But again, you're not going to catch them all. Forex trading is not like Pokemon. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's not. You're not going to get your Charizard and Pikachu leveled up. You're going to just straight up miss trades sometimes for no reason, just because they don't come all the way into the zone, or you miss them, or you're sleeping or whatever. That's a part of trading. I'm not going to FOMO in. I'm not going to be getting in way up here with the stop loss below the zone and having to have a target all the way up here at these highs and catch the next 83 pip move, which isn't, to be fair, it's not that crazy of a move. But that risk structure versus this one right here, right? Same risk, but price only has to move basically half of that, right? Like 50 pips for me to get a profit target hit. I'm not going to be FOMOing into anything. I'm going to be waiting on this to happen. And if we do get into this zone and start bouncing on like the lower time frames, like 1 hour, 15 minute, then I'll just be looking to buy. So we just have to either come into this zone and start to bounce. So that's Euro GBP. CHF JPY almost set up today. We came pretty close to the resistance zone. We came 34 pips away, which for CHF JPY is a pretty short price move. This is a major resistance zone where price has bounced at multiple times in the past before. So you can see I've got my alert up here. If price gets into that region, I'll be looking to sell. Very, very simple trade. The sell might look something like this. Stop loss above the zone and that recent high, and then a target at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Then if it starts going sideways or breaking up above the zone, I'll look to get out of the trade a little bit early if I can. And if we start going at a profit, 100 pips, it's a little over 100 pips, 127 pips, starts going down, then I'll be holding it to the profit target. And hopefully we get this as a profit target. I think CHF JPY is a pretty good trade right now. So I'll be looking for that later this week. Now as we continue forward and going to Euro AUD. Euro AUD is very similar to Euro GBP. We need to push a little bit deeper down here, which I still think it's going to happen, but not enough to where I want to actually be in a short. A lot of trading is not saying like I'm trying to predict what happens and get into it. It's kind of waiting and saying, hey, if XYZ happens, then I will take a trade. So for me, the safer opportunity is not to try to say, you know what, if I think it's going to be bouncing there at support and go up, well, why don't we just short and just enter a sell for price to go down here? The only problem with that is where the hell do you put your stop loss at, right? How are you going to control risk? Are you going to put it just above these previous daily candles? Are you going to put it above these previous daily candles to kind of use a little bit more big of a zone? And then your profit target, if you just think it's going to go there to that support, well, now you're not even getting a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. And then maybe if you're putting the stop loss right above these little recent highs, you'll get a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. But again, it's just one of those things where it becomes very, very difficult to do the risk structure for. So with that being said, I'm just going to be looking to buy right here at these lows. This is a very, very simple, clear zone. We've bounced at it a couple times in the past, but it's a little bit more choppy right there. So I'm just using this recent price data from back in March of this year, 2 months ago, and then, of course, back in May, which was literally like 2 weeks ago. And if we come in here into this zone, then I will be looking to buy with a stop below and a target above. That's Euro AUD. Next up is Euro JPY. This one's kind of far from setting up. If we get up here into this zone, similar to CHF JPY, I'm just going to look to sell at that resistance. Stop above, target at 1-to-1. I won't even spend any time going in any detail for it because you should know how I trade by now, just watching this video. And then if you just want to watch me trade every single day and all my analysis and the trade recaps and outlooks and examples and everything, just follow my free Telegram channel. That's what it's here for. There's 50,000 members in here. I've been running it for the past, my gosh, it's been 8 years, 2026, 2018. Yeah, it's been 8 years. I've been running this since the summer of 2018, my free Telegram channel. The good old free Telegram channel, sharing my analysis and insights. So you can just join that at the link in the description of the pinned comment. It's completely free. If you think it's bullshit, you can just leave in the first 30 seconds. It's okay. I understand. But if you want to follow my trades and analysis there and you're looking to put this simple trading approach into practice, that's a great resource because you literally get to see exactly what I'm doing every single day. So Euro Japanese yen, if we get up here, I'll be looking to sell. That might take a while because this is a daily chart. It could take weeks for that to set up. AUD JPY, very similar, but close to the zone. If we do get this to set up, CHF JPY will probably set up around the same time. So I'll be looking to pick whichever one looks best. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drag Euro JPY up here next to CHF JPY, because they're friends, because they're both JPY pairs. You get it, because they're both. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, okay. Fine. So if we get up here into this zone, I'll be looking to sell on CHF JPY. Same thing on Euro JPY, and the same thing on AUD and JPY. So if that occurs, then I'll be looking to sell right there at the top with a stop above and a target below. I won't be taking them both. I'll be looking to just pick whichever one is best at the time or which one sets up first. I don't want to overexpose myself to JPY correlation because, as you know, they're friends. They kind of move together. They kind of hold hands as they go up and down. If CHF JPY goes up, AED JPY, Euro JPY, GBP JPY, USD JPY, all the other JPY pairs are likely to try to go up as well. And it's not like a 100% case type of thing, but it's most of the time, like 90% of the time, they're all going to kind of move relatively in the same way. If one of them's dropping, a lot of the others are likely to be dropping as well. And same thing vice versa for buys. So I'll be looking to just pick whichever one looks best. So that's AUD JPY. We've already been through EJ and EA. The last one here is USD Canadian dollar. It's kind of a similar setup to Euro JPY, where if we can come up here to this zone, we can sell at resistance. USD Canadian dollar is very similar, right? We've got this major resistance zone here. Look how clear this is. I'll even use the little rectangle. We're going to break out the rectangle here again. You can see prices bounced here at this region quite a bit. Like at the exclusion of these previous highs here, we've bounced there as resistance, support, broke through, found resistance kind of twice right there. Resistance, we came all the way back up, found resistance again, hilariously enough, twice. There's a little double top there before going down. If we get back up into here, all I'm going to be doing is looking to sell. What's the trade going to look like? Something like this. A sell there at the zone. Stop loss just above. Probably right, that looks to be a pretty good stop loss right there. Not too close, not too far. Take profit at a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So something like this. So if you're planning your charts for this week and you're going to be using my analysis to plan it, after, of course, doing your own research, because this is not financial advice, and most people lose money trading, you shouldn't be listening to anything I said. I'm just some bald guy with a beard yelling at you in a YouTube video. So remember to not risk the farm on your trading accounts so that you don't lose a shit ton of money, because most people are just going to lose money. You're better off working at McDonald's. But if you don't want to work at McDonald's and you prefer not to do that and you prefer to make millions of dollars trading, you have to approach it the right way. And I believe I've been a proponent of this for years, since about maybe a year and a half, 2 years in my trading journey. You got to keep things simple and you got to control risk. The way that I trade fundamentally does both of those things. My analysis, it takes me like maybe 10, 15 seconds to analyze a pair. It's basically looking at the daily chart, asking if we're close to a major zone. If we are, then I just buy at support or sell at resistance. And if we're not, I just set an alert. And then TradingView literally sends an alert to my phone and tells me, hey, price is at this zone. Then I can go look at it, gather the context, make sure price isn't breaking past it immediately, and I can choose to either enter a buy or a sell depending on if we're at support resistance. It's super, super simple. So I keep things really simple. And that second thing is controlling risk. What do? I risk however much I'm comfortable on a trade that reflects my risk tolerance and my sort of, let's say, confidence in the trade, or my kind of discretion as to that trading opportunity and the quality of it. I'll risk an amount I'm comfortable with. Sometimes it's 25K, sometimes it's 50K, sometimes it's 100K. And depending on the quality of the trade kind of dictates how much I'm going to risk. That's something that's going to come with experience for you. So, and I'll put a stop loss and I'll put a target at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. If it starts going against me, I try to get out a little early. And if it starts going into profit, I try to hold it all the way to the profit target in most cases. It's super simple. It's super basic. And as far as this GBP trade, I am not giving up on GBP USD. And as we speak, she's already starting to kind of go back above the zone. This trade should be in a little bit of profit right now for me. So I'm going to go and get back to emails, get back to my clients in Discord, and I will see you guys at a later time, probably tomorrow's video. If you did end up hitting the like button on this video, that's great. That's so cool. Wow, that is just really, really cool. I'm glad that you liked this video. That is so awesome. I'll see you in the next one, my friend. Cheers.